Good evening and welcome to the nighttime heat. Tonight, rated on Prom FM 105.5. We are streaming live on Prom FM Morovia 105.5 and also streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel as well. You want to watch the show online, just tap Nighttime Heat on your Facebook or your YouTube channel. You subscribe, you hit the notification bell so that anytime the show comes on, you receive notification. We wanted to share tonight's show. It promises to be very feisty tonight. The engagements, my panelists, they are well savvy, politically savvy. They understand the issue. Very incredible figures, on this show. And so tonight we'll be having, important discussions. And of course, we want to join us tonight either by radio or either online. And so let me just acquaint you of what is coming up. The issue with the Ministry of Justice withdrawing its petition requests from the court. Tonight we should be doing an analysis. The special assistant to the Minister of Justice, Safa Kemokai, I hope I got it right. I think he's Anthony Alor. Initially, we spoke with him earlier today, and he promised to bring us up to speed as to why did the ministry withdraw its petition request from the court. Because, initially, the ministry wrote the court to subpoena the leadership of the Senate to come and provide, to go there and provide some financial documents. But then, 24 hours after, the Senate pushed back on the Ministry of Justice. And so we spoke with Safa Kemokai Anthony Law, and of course he promised, he gave us his commitment, he gave us his word that he will speak with us to bring us up to speed as to why did the Ministry of Justice withdraw its petition request. So we're hoping that we can get him. We tried calling him a few minutes ago. The phone rang endlessly. Then later on, it went off. We're hoping that he can put his phone back on. Because, we have to discuss this. We can't allow our country to be run this way. Our people who the president, and what is more troubling is that for issues of that nature, where a petition request was, not a petition, but a subpoena request was sent to the court, and then later on, in less than 24 hours, withdrawn, especially by the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General, the man who, the only man who has the ability and the potential and the right to differ with the president, for his office to send a subpoena request to the courts, drawing in the Senate, casting some expulsion in them, and then later on to withdraw. We really got to know what actually happened behind the scene. And so we spoke with Kemokai. I think Safa Kemokai, I hope I got his name right. He's the special assistant to the Minister of Justice. And of course, he promised us, I don't know whether he has changed the gear for which his phone is off, but maybe I'm sure the phone will come on and to take our calls tonight. And also tonight, the people in Rivers County, part of Rivers, they are living in terror, in fear. We understand as vigilante mob, goes on the rampage. In fact, we understand that houses were burned and people made it displaced. It's troubling. We're going to talk about that today. We spoke earlier with the senator of Rivers County, Wellington Jeevan Smith, and he promised to speak with us. He said, well, he was on his way around there. And also we'll be speaking with a human rights activist. He's the director at the Independent Human Rights Commission. He spoke on that matter, and it has its own human rights implication. So we're going to talk about that as well. Eviction fear gripped thousands of single mothers. We understand they are single mothers. They are in Nima County. They're supposed to be evicted anytime soon. And of course, they are pleading with the government. They are all single mothers. They don't have anything. They have the kids to take care of. We're going to talk about that. And of course, they are based in Lima County. In the same vein, Dawsons have been made homeless again in Johnsonville. So we don't know what's happening. I mean, almost on a daily basis, some eviction taking place somewhere. Homeless, people being made homeless, being hurt about. It's a problem. We're going to talk about that. What's happening? Well, news broke this evening about the death of former Montserrat County Representative Solomon George. That's on the margin of our discussion. When we start the program, we'll have stories on the margin. We're going to talk about those stories first before we go into our major stories and our main stories. So we heard about the death of former Representative Solomon George. We're going to eulogize him a bit. What can we remember about him? Our panelists will join the show, and of course we'll talk about that. Besides Martin Corley, the Liberian activist, in fact, he continues to advocate against academic fraud. We understand that there's $4 million United States dollars, not Liberian dollars, United States dollars lawsuit now hanging over Martin Corley after he said that the UL law school Dukes is not the one who actually should be the Dukes. He said he got all of the documentations, he got the records to prove his case. And we're hoping that we can speak with Martin. We spoke with him earlier today. We're hoping that we can place a call to him. So that's the lineup of the nighttime heat. Let me try to welcome my panelists who are on already, who are here already. David Benedictus Rasmus Namwe. Well, welcome to the program tonight, the Friday's edition.
Thank you so much, Josh. You forgot to put.
Thank God that I didn't snatch the phone again.
Thank you so much, and good evening to everyone. Most especially those following us on the social media. I'd like to also say good evening to our technical team. For the first time, let me greet them. I always forgetting about them. So I'd like to say good evening to our technical people. And I'd like to extend my greetings also to our colleagues in the diaspora, in the United States to be specific, Moses Sandy and how they call him, Prince Crippler. I hope Prince
Prince will be coming on tonight. Very shortly. Moses will delay a bit.
And I'd like to also say good evening to my brother and friend, long-time media colleague. What's your full name again?
George Fomotopa.
In fact,
George Kennedy.
Moving forward, gentlemen, I think we come to put a time tag to people making the initial comment because David Tagbe will always take almost 2 minutes. So Dave, welcome.
So I'd like to say good evening to George Kennedy and also our incoming lawyer.
Edwin Family. I tried placing call to him today. Unfortunately,
congratulations.
His phone rang endlessly. But Edwin, this program is dedicated in your honor. And congratulations, you did extremely well. And of course, this Friday's edition is for you. Wherever you are, we salute you. You are now a full scale lawyer. Yeah, Anthony, a lawyer. Yeah, the man still a lawyer. Anthony, a lawyer. He's going to practice for some time and then on. He's elevated to a full lawyer status, but he's an Anthony lawyer. He's still a lawyer. Welcome to the program, George.
Thank you. Good evening, Sabo. Good evening to our technicians, our many listeners. We ask that you kindly share the show tonight with the ferry, and also to Mr. Tagbe. Mr. Tagbe, you are a senior brother of mine in the media. In spite of the fight that we all practice together, I met you in the field. I honor you. That's why I can always call you honorable. And so Good evening to our
Remember, you
diaspora.
acting a taboo now. You're
yeah,
taking
I'm
long to.
I'm not taking my time now. You know,
Okay, I'll be giving
Mr.
each
Prince Crippler and Mr. Sandy, you guys.
gentlemen. This time you have 1 minute to just say, okay, thank you, George.
Just look at our clock.
Not 1 minute, for 1 second. 1 second. Oh, you're listening to the Nighttime Heat, rented on Prime FM 105.5. We are streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. And of course, we are streaming live on our Facebook. That's the Nighttime Heat Facebook and the Nighttime Heat YouTube channel. If you are in the diaspora, just tap Nighttime Heat, and of course, you follow the show. You get to know about the major happenings in Liberia. This program is basically intended, to showcase, to talk about what's happening in our country. It's not entirely to promote the government. It's also not entirely to criticize. No, it's just basically to help the government. Maybe in some way it's slipping. We'll talk about those slippages, and then later on, the government can get back on track. We are not enemies. In fact, this is the only boring nighttime show. We don't run up to 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock to steal your sleep, to prevent you from sleeping, or to abuse your sleeping. No, we're not going to do that. What we do on the show, we run for just 2 hours, 30 minutes, to just lead you, accompany you to slumber. As soon as you start snoring or something, we just leave you, and the show goes off. Gentlemen, welcome again. Let's try to play this video first. The video of the former Montserrat County Representative Solomon George. That video should be there. Kindly check. We send a video there. Kindly check producer. We don't just want to say the video should be there. We send the video. I want to play that video quickly. There are some it's this live video. Some reporters visited the home. They visited the home and they visited the home of Solomon George. They visited the home of Solomon George, and they been speaking with Representative Salmasi. So we're trying to upload a video. We're trying to upload it quickly. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat, rated on Prime FM 105.5. That's the show, Prime FM 105.5. We're trying to make sure that we can get this video up quickly and talk about us, Senator E directly. Okay, so gentlemen, we heard this evening about the homegoing of Solomon George. We just chose to eulogize him for a few minutes before we can go into our political stories. First, let us hear from you. It's Prince Crippler now. Okay, Prince has to come here, and Moses will be late a bit. Let's hear from you, George. How much do you know about the deceased?
I've known Honorable George for quite a long time, since the 90s. At the time, he used to live opposite the Monrovia, MC. That's my, MC on Clay Street.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be read to where Susan Brooks School is, around there. And since then, I started knowing him. He's been a very good man. He was firing, but very, very good. He was a kind-hearted man. I know that. He had, he used to insult people, but he didn't have bad heart for people. He will blast at you, and when you go around and put your hands in his pocket, and whatever he get money from there is for you. You go to your house, whatever there you said you eat, whatever food that he has there. So that's the type of person he was. He began controlling George Weah's junior professional. He was the that time Farmer Poto, all the guys were there. I used to go to the 9th Street residence of George Weah, former President Weah. And later in fact, he was stalwart of in Phase 11 before. So, and later he became representative for this district where we have Prime FM District 7 and where we all reside. He was my representative. I think he went for 2 terms. Later, he was defeated by the current representative. And he went on to become consultant at the Liberia Petroleum Refinery Company, LPRC, where he was until today. Shockingly, this evening, we hearing about his demise. I mean, it still strange to me. I want to tell his family sorry. His daughter Kulu, I know she's in the States. Most of his children knew me very well, or knows me very well. So we're friends. We lived together on Clay Street, Ken Johnson Road, before he could move up Snapper Hills.
Okay, so he's a man who had a mixture of characteristics.
Yeah, sure.
Kind though, but also
very fiery.
Now, Dave,
Yeah.
You came across this right before. I know you knew him well, or you may have either covered him media-wise. What kind of man was he?
Well, yeah, as far as I didn't know about Solomon Josh, actually, I got to know him when he became a member of the legislature. When he became a representative, and I hosted him so many times, both on Radio Veritas and on the Western Type station, how to call it. I can recall vividly now.
Okay.
The Western Type station, and I also hosted him on at Veritas when when I was hosting the talk show Radio Veritas, the Catholic Rome Radio Veritas. And what I got to know about him, that he was a realistic person. He's a guy who didn't mince his words. He didn't mince his words. If it is what he called it white. If it was black, he called it black. He didn't care about how you feel about his feelings or his thoughts about issues. And another thing I noticed about whenever he came to the station or came on the talk show, he always came with the Bible or some books with him. So he was a guy, like Kennedy said, like I think there's some
Prince, please 1 minute.
Yeah.
Prince, we're getting some terrible sound. You have to mute your microphone, please. You have to mute your microphone. Your family's at the back here.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
and he was a guy who really, he didn't mean harm, but he was a guy who freely expressed himself. You remember at some time, he broke away from the CDC and he expressed what he broke away, without missing the words. But it's unfortunate that this evening we heard that he died. I know the people of District 7, where I also live, are shocked about the news about his death, the news of his death. Life is unpredictable.
Surely.
You see somebody, a minute ago, the next minute you hear that he died, or the person died. I mean, that's what life it is. I was even shocked when I heard that he passed, because I didn't hear about his illness. I didn't hear about illness or whatever must have happened to him. But so this evening when I heard that he passed, I was absolutely taken aback by the news that he died. May his soul rest in peace. But he was a friendly guy, open guy, and who didn't hide the feelings about how he felt about issues, and most especially the national issues. And he spoke his mind. So he was a realistic fellow.
Okay.
And I used to admire him for that.
Okay, let's hold it in and play this video quickly. Some journalists went to the home immediately upon hearing about his passing. Let's try to play this video.
All right, folks. So this is inside Liberia, and we are at the resident of former District 7, Moserado County, former Representative Resident Solomon C. George, and of course, it is confirmed that he's dead. And of course, this is where we are. And I have my colleague here, the man Washington Tappet. We were on the radio and we heard this news. We needed to come to verify, this news about former District 7 Representative Solomon C. George. And I think that, yes, I can hear we right here, Central Monrovia. His residence is right here. I think right beyond this Snapper
Hill.
Snapper Hill Hospital.
Snapper Hill Clinic.
Right, okay, yes. And it is confirmed. And of course, this is where we are currently. And I think Washington will have to go a bit closer.
Yeah. So, yes, it is actually an embarrassing moment.
Right.
You see, schools of Liberians are here.
Yeah, let's go closer.
They are in tears. My name is Washington.
And so you see,
people are in tears.
Yeah, people are still coming.
Yeah.
And
the influx of people.
Of course.
More. The sympathy,
Yeah, people still coming. And just imagine, this has not sent the new skin. He has not, been an hour now. But people still coming around. And we have to keep coming closer. You can share the video. We are the resident of...
And knowing that Solomon George was a very popular person.
Right.
Very vocal. A politician as well. Someone who...
Okay, so gentlemen, that was some reporters at his home. Now, let me do we have a Prince? Crippler, can you mute your microphone? Kind of mute because we're hearing some noise to the back. But Josh, let me again begin with you. Continue with you. Before his passing, in recent time, it's been very vocal of the CDC of former President Weah. Why are you saying so?
Sure, he's been blasting the CDC for, especially former President Weah, for allegedly refusing to listen to his advice that led to his defeat, to the defeat of his party. He said he'd been alarming, although we told former President Weah what to do, what was the fault in the party, how he listened to us. This thing was not going to, look, frankly, not because he's there today, but Solo really loved former President Weah. He considered former President Weah his son. So some of the things he used to say, in fact, the former President Weah, sometimes he used to sound very, very condescending and disrespectful. But the former president used to allow, even before he could become president, when he was footballer. And, one of the thing that happened, I was there, but I can't say it on the air. And he just said it, opening it out, and the former president said, "Look, I'm not a former president," and they just joke about it like that. That's and it was also a strong believer, a strong Christian. He was.
Yes, I can remember. From years back, every time you saw his Bible, in fact, he was always quoting the scripture.
Yeah, he always read his Bible. He always went to church. He was lecturing at Illinois University for education. He's a dean at everything there, whatsoever. He's the kind of guy who kept hundreds of students at that university. I'm aware of that. Hundreds of
paying their school fees.
Paying their school fees. 8,000, hundreds of students paying their school fees. He did lots. He didn't do it for me. Here I was not that friendly to say this. I didn't like the other side, but I used to like the other side. Yeah, he didn't do anything personally for me, but I'm a living witness. He done it for hundreds of students.
Okay.
Most of them.
Okay, let's talk to Prince Crippler before we can play the video of him. Prince, welcome to the program.
It's Prince.
Mr. Crippler, welcome.
Yes, thank you, Sabo. It's a pleasure to
Mute.
be back on the
Unmute,
platform.
Mr. Crippler.
Yes, are you getting me?
It seems that Prince is finding it difficult. Now, Dave, yeah, no, considering
Oh God.
the man he was, very kind, like he said, like Kokoli said, in fact, he paid the school fees for people. No, but he had his other side of being tough in talking. You think he was trying to use the kindness to overwhelm or to cover its other bad side of or what? You think?
Well, as I said initially, I didn't know him well, but from the kind of work we do, we interact with all these politicians and others. And as what I don't know, is some of the things he said, and some of the feelings he expressed, some of the opinions that he expressed, he didn't mean him. But as far as he was concerned, you are providing guidance or providing wisdom to those who are in power, most especially President Joshua, that he actually admired and loved. And from all indications, Solomon, the late Solomon Judge that we're talking about now, was one of the staunch members of the former ruling coalition for democratic change. And because of his love for President George Weah, former President George Weah, uh, he was disappointed from some of his views he expressed. He was disappointed that the former president there was not a guy who who took his advice or accepted his advice, and they always said that, no, because you didn't listen to me and the others who were trying to guide you. That's why the CDC lost the
Okay.
elections.
Now that was a song he was always
Yeah, that
singing,
was
but
always
but
always
in the latter day, and let me hear from Prince on this one. Prince, welcome to the program.
But I'm not. Thank
So
you.
Crippler, welcome.
Thank you, Sabo. I'm finding some little
It
bit of
seems that
challenges.
he's
Low. You're very low.
very low. We are not getting you. Welcome. You have
Yes.
to unmute your microphone.
I'm not muted. I'm not on.
in America, your equipment having problem.
I'm not on mute.
Okay,
Let-
let's try to see what we can play the video of
Yeah.
you quickly. It's still okay.
So
No.
yeah.
And then Sabo,
Mhm.
and this is what I will go with. And then after some time of his, after some time, he became critical of President Weah,
Mhm.
former President Weah, and that was surprising to a lot of people who 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 said that, look, why Solomon George is ungrateful to President Weah because President Weah made these guys. They succeeded on the ticket of the CDC during elections, and that's how he landed at the national legislature. For him, for Solomon George, the late Solomon George, to have, turned the other way around and became critical of President Weah. That surprised a lot of people, most especially the people in the CDC.
Mhm.
But, as I said, because he was a realistic person, but other people had another side of it that, look, why when the CDC was in power, he didn't express all these disagreements that he had with the president, with the former president. And that's been sycophantic. And at some point of his life, he turned his favoritism towards the ruling Unity Party now. And there were views that you were looking for favor from the Unity Party, you want a job. And as far as I see Solomon George are concerned, the Unity Party were doing the right thing that George Weah government did not do. And so there were a lot of criticisms about him. And for the Unity Party people, the fact that his comments were favoring the current government, they clapped for him. and why the CDC people also frowned on him. So I mean,
Now you think he should have? Let me ask you. You think with the comments he was now making in his latter day, favoring the Unity Party, you think he should have gotten something? The party should have rewarded him.
In fact, he
Or
was
current
rewarded. He was a consultant at FPRC. If you listen to
So he
his
was already
past
rewarded?
interview- Yes, he was working. He was not sitting. He was a consultant.
And that was after he started, hitting.
Even
and then
before
it's
he
from-
could start. Even before he could start. Look, let me say one person that will really get featured today for the passing of Honorable George will be former President Weah. The relationship between them, nobody could get between them. Frankly, they came from way down. Even though former Representative George went that far, but I'm not lying to you. He just walked in the former president's house in the yard. They would like just maybe throw jars at one another, and he would go
And
to the
reconcile.
other. So that's how they were looking like.
Okay,
So,
let's see what we can play the
I mean,
video quickly.
maybe at some point, Mr. President, we had a former president action out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, then he would
Because-
still go and come.
Yeah, the former president, in fact, the security people at the former president's residence stopping from seeing the president. President Solomon, why are you doing my yard? Get out of here. Because of the differences they had, at
Okay.
some point of the
Okay,
time.
we'll soon transition.
I
Let's
spoke
hear from.
when I
Let's
entered George
play the
Weah's
video.
house
You
that day.
listen to the nighttime heat right
was
on
there
Prime
with some of my
FM
children.
105.5.
Yes,
We are streaming
he
live
was
on Prime
president.
FM Monrovia 105.5.
So-
We
so
are also
get out of
streaming
my
live on our
compound.
Facebook
Get
and our
out of my- I
YouTube
said,
channel.
you put me up,
Share the
sir.
show, share the live videos.
You want to run my government? Then you come and tell me what to do here. I spoke when I entered George Weah's house that day. He was there with some of my children.
At that time, Mr. Weah was president.
Yes, he was president. Solo, get out of my compound. Get out of my. I said, you're putting me outside.
Really?
You want to run my government? Then you come and tell me what to do here. Get outside. He said, so you're putting me outside.
What year was that, you think?
About 3 years before the election.
Okay. Maybe 21, 22.
Yes. Then the officer in charge of that area said, Chief, they met our grandpa.
Wow.
Chief, we can put him in outside. Chief will beg you. He said, okay, if you don't put him in outside, I will sack you all here. So I said, don't sack them.
Was he serious or he was just
He
kidding?
was DAMN serious. He was not DAME serious, he was DAMN serious.
Damn serious.
Wow.
And I said, don't sack anybody, I will leave. Guess what? The next morning, I was at George Weah house again. That guy knows that I love him, but love can dwindle, you know?
It has an expiration.
Exactly. He has been hate. Let me tell you one thing. Let me give you another thing concerning he and I. You can remember they doing the time for the Tyler signature, and they wanted my signature, and they lied to me. He lied to me.
He, Mr. Weah.
I say George Opong Weah lied to me, and he knows that I'm a man of principles, not principle alone, but principles. He lied to me. So because he lied to me, when he called me to his house now, after we had that fight, I said, I will not sign. I said, I'm not signing. So I
So
jumped up.
after the altercation you talk about when he asked you out of the house, you wanted you to sign? Or you signed before the altercation?
I come now. Putting me out of his fence was before the signing business.
Oh, okay.
They putting me out of the fence was while he was president.
Okay.
The other issue was why he was senator.
Oh, okay.
So I packed my bags, took my daughter, and my son. My daughter is 22 years now. My son is almost 40. We left for the United States. When we reached at the Newark airport, they say they want to search me. Search me for what? Those guys enter my bag. They search me this minute. After 15 minutes, they come back in, bring the bag. They search me again. They kept searching me, not knowing they had me on social media with 2 bags of money.
What?
You see the US dollar dropping off the bed. That artistic done by.
Okay, so that's the sort of man he was. Prince, are you on now? Is your system okay? Welcome back to the program, Prince. Mr. Crippler, welcome. Unmute yourself. We don't want to go for Prince Crippler. You have to upgrade your machine that you're using there because we can be waiting for you. Now, gentlemen, let's move forward. Now, now that he is gone, if you were to just George, you may know him, know his family as well, and you follow some of his activities. If you were to just give him a farewell message, what would you say about him?
I will ask God to forgive all his sins. He may have wronged some people because he feel that maybe he insulted them. Even myself, he insulted me before, but I didn't take it personal.
That's an interesting one.
Because that was his character on the
okay.
other side. This man was a good man. He was very close to some friends of mine that he helped. I know what he did for them. And I also like to use his medium. I know former President Weah got hurt by some of his utterances, but he knew his own man. I know he forgave him long since.
Okay.
I will ask God to forgive his soul.
Okay. Yeah. Dave, let's hear from you.
Well, similarly, I would like to ask God, I would like to ask God to accept him, forgive his sins. All of us can sin. All of us have our own sins and problems with. So let him rest well. Let God, pardon him for all the wrongs he did. But at the same time, he did some good things. Whether his good overwhelm his bad or his bad overwhelm his good is God to decide. Not David Tagbe, not David Namwe Tagbe. But it's God that will decide whether his good overwhelmed his bad. As a Catholic, I'm from the Catholic Church, so we believe in purgatory. Okay. Purgatory is where, when, where you begin from. In purgatory, you stop in purgatory, and after you forgiven by God, you proceed to heaven. But if your sins are overwhelming, and then you find your way to hell.
Okay, let's hold you there.
I pray to God that he's forgiven for all his sins.
Okay. Let's again welcome Prince Crippler. Prince, welcome to the program. Okay. I think he's gone off. Gentlemen, let's try to transition now. I think with eulogize the former lawmaker. Let's try to transition, and this time around we'll be talking about the lawsuit that hangs over Martin Corley. Let's read it. So, your law school Dukes files $4 million defamation suit against Martin K. Corley. The Dukes of the University of Liberia Law School has filed a $4 million lawsuit against activist Martin K. Corley, accusing him of defamation. The civil action was filed during the March term 2026 before the 6th Judicial Circuit Civil Law Court for Montreal County, and is assigned to resident Circuit Judge J. Kennedy P. Barry. The plaintiff, Madam Zeta Jones Howe, a final year student at the Louis Arthur Grimm School of Law, alleged that Corley made a defamatory statement about Hall on his Facebook page. According to the complaint, the statement accused Hall of criminal fraud and academic falsification claims. She says are false and have harmed her reputation. In her suit, Jones Howe is seeking US 3.5 million in general damages and US 500,000 in punitive damages. The filing argues that the alleged statements constitute defamation or on common law principles recognized in Liberian jurisprudence. Okay, so gentlemen, the lawsuit has been filed against Mr. Martin Colley, and like you heard the reading, the complainant is requesting or demanding some US $4 million. I think been following Martin Colley's his read up on the social media. We spoke of him earlier today, and he said a couple of things for us, but we thought that he could come also public because we want to interview him. He consented, hoping that we can get him on the line. But let's hear from you, your take about the lawsuit filed against Martin.
Well, I think this is an interesting case because someone feels that their character was being injured by another person.
Okay, I think Mr. Colley should be on the line by now. Like we said, we spoke with him earlier today, and he promised to speak with us briefly. He's not going to go into the detail of the matter, but the lawsuit, we understand, has been announced against him. Let's try to talk to Mr. Colley quickly on the nighttime heat for a few minutes. Mr. Colley, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Josh. It's always my pleasure to be on. And thanks to you and your team for the great job you continue to do for our people.
Okay. First, I think let me put a question this way. Are you worried about a lawsuit of $4 million that is hanging on your head?
I'm far from being worried because I stand by the truth. I stand by justice, accountability, academic freedom, and integrity. So there's nothing to fear here. We'll go to court and emerge victorious because the truth shall always win. So we are not afraid. Our duty as an activist is to protect the interests of the Liberian people and sanitize the academic corridors in Liberia. So we are doing a job that we have been ordained by the Liberian people to do. So there is nothing to fear here. It is about the country. It is about the people of the country. It is about the future of the country. We will not allow fraud to be normalized in Liberia. So there is nothing like being afraid here, Mr. Josh.
Okay, just bring us up to speed about your position. You've been, writing in recent time that this lady, how it's not, shouldn't be the dukes of the law school. But just bring us up to speed. What have you been saying? What has been your qualm about Mystery Howe?
So the first thing, Mr. George, is the University of Liberia is the macrocosm of the larger society. It is the barometer of consciousness. There where leaders of the country are breeded, trained, equipped to ensure that our future is preserved. So people who enter the university must be people of integrity, people of discipline, people of studiousness, academic excellence. It is unfortunate that the system in Liberia has become a floodgate of fraud. And this is the system we are fighting against, to minimize the incidence of fraud with not only at the University of Liberia, but across academic institutions in the country. That's why we established the Campinos for Academic Crime School in Liberia. This is a very serious matter. It is a national tragedy that thousands of Liberians will work so hard to earn their legitimate credentials, but a few group of people will continue to collude the system. On what basis? This is not fair. This is not fair. The young lady in question did not even enter the law school properly. The laws of the law school's entry are crystal clear. Before you enter the law school, you must pass something called LAST, Law School Admission Test, the LSAT. Unfortunately, she did not pass. The administration at that time had sympathy on her and a few students who failed because they required math to pass the law school exam or entrance, right? It's 150 points. It's on page 40 of the revised student handbook of 2018. I'm quoting a law here. And I made the case to the president of the university with the full backing of the law. Unfortunately, she ignored that because she had a personal issue with me. This is the victory we are winning. She's embarrassed. And I'm saying it on your show. I'm saying it on your show. She was biased. She was partial. She was insensitive to the facts and truth. And you cannot have the president of the university of this nature so biased to an extent that you are even becoming emotional and vindictive. It was my obligation when you were appointed as president of the university to have checked you. You are not above reproach. I'm saying on the show, Mr. George, the Liberian people are listening. She is not above reproach. I will check her as many times as possible if she's appointed again. Let's be clear here. She's not above scrutiny. Who do you think you are? The point I'm making is she released a report that was not vindictive. Right? She did not look at the nuances, the implications of what she was doing. At the end of the day, here we are. This is a victory for academic integrity.
Now,
the young lady did not deuce.
Okay,
She
now,
did not deuce. We produce our files. We have preponderance of files and evidence to prove that she did not deuce. She was never even among the best students in the school. How can she deuce? Repeating courses? How can you repeat courses you say you deuce?
now, Martin, you are far away from the country. How do you gather? Because you continue to be, very upbeat that if there's any case, you're going to win the case because you have preponderance of evidence. What sort of evidence do you have?
So the first thing, we do not only have circumstantial evidence and testimonial evidence, but we also have documentary evidence. So our evidence or our pieces of evidence are ironclad. They cannot be challenged. The weight of our evidence cannot be challenged, Mr. Judge. I can tell you this for a fact. For example, let me give you one typical example. So the grade of 23 students, right? The grades of 23 students were submitted 2025, around November, by Councillor Tiaron Gongo. That grade for her was changed to A+. No student made A+. Who changed it? Who changed her grade to A+? She got additional 9 points. So she had an advantage of a 9-point increase over her other colleagues. Who changed the grade to A+? Nobody can answer that question today. So I had the ledger of Councillor Gongo's official report, and I have a ledger from the data center. Two different grades. Two different grades. And the 9-point increase had an effect on her cumulative GPA. Grade point average. So if we go back to her real grade, she cannot even graduate with that average. That's one of the fraud right there. The second thing is, for example, at the University of Liberia, there are required courses, Mr. Josh. So say, for example, before you do English 202, you got to do English 101. But she did both English 101 and English 102 the same semester together. It is not possible. The law also says, Mr. Josh, look on page 40 and 41 of the revised student handbook of 2018. The law is very clear about who can go on a roll and who can receive special honor. She doesn't even meet those requirements. But because people have interest in trying to protect a lady that does not earn and does not deserve to be the deuce or valedictorian of her colleagues, that's why we have to arrive where we have to arrive.
Okay.
Academic integrity won. They did. And this is a victory for our people. Our duty is to protect.
Okay, so I will have few of my panelists asking you questions, but before I can turn to them. You have this lawsuit now that has been announced, and you are far away from countries. What have you begun doing now so as to get set for the lawsuit?
Between now and Monday, Mr. George, I'm going to announce my legal team. In fact, before I could even think about announcing legal team, I have already had more than 10 counselors reaching out to me because they know the truth. They know I stand for the truth. They have followed the work I have done in the country. I have never insulted anybody. I have scrutinized both men and women. So this is not about the gender card. She wants to play gender card. Do you know how many men I have exposed as a result of fake credentials in that country? You want to play gender card? After polluting the system, you should be ashamed of yourself, young lady. There are
Okay.
brilliant young pass through the system the rightful way, and we congratulate them. We congratulate them because they work hard. If you want to be the dudes, work hard, earn it. Do not buy it.
Okay.
This is a simple message. To build a merit-based system in the country, Mr. George, we have to do better than that.
Okay, so let's allow Mr. George Kennedy to ask you his question quickly.
Good evening, Martin.
Yeah, Mr. Kennedy, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. Are you going to be trial in absentia, or are you going to come to Liberia for this landmark case?
Well, the law requires that my legal team represents me in my absence.
So it means that you will be out of the country.
Yeah, I will be absentia, sure. But
So
the case will go on because I have a legal representation there.
I know.
All I need to do according to the law is to communicate it with the judge.
Councillor Gonglo posted, and the first post on this particular candidate or graduate, the first one was for academic excellence. Later, that post was somehow revised and it was strategically reposted. How did you understand what he said in that post, if you already read it?
So certainly. In fact, we informed the public about the post being edited.
Okay.
People didn't know, so we had to repost it, the original version and the edited version. So the original post said, "Congratulations to my favorite student and daughter, Azetta Jones Howard, those of the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law, a scholar of distinction and a trailblazing leader." So this was done on the 22nd. Yeah. And on February 23rd at 11:09 p.m., Councillor Gonglo edited the post and said again, "Congratulations to Azetta Jones Howard of the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law on her recent academic recognition." Two different things. So my expectation for the councillor was, because the councillor is a very respected statesman with an integrity to protect. So he cannot vouch for his student, whereas he hasn't had all the details. This is my own disappointment, right?
Okay.
Forget about all the other stuff. But Councillor Gonglo is a man of repute. It's this man. So people look up to him. When there are controversies, you don't rush your conclusions. You first analyze the situation, listen to all parties, because he's a professor at law. Students are having legitimate claims. When students are dissatisfied, it is their right to express themselves. And there were written communications to the dean of the law school, the president of the University of Liberia, the VPAA, and all other authorities who have the power to independently investigate the matter. Martin Colley is not and was not imparted to the case. But because people refuse to investigate, the students have to come to me now.
So
to give the matter public attention and national attention. And that was what I did.
I ask this question because, Martin, the academic or the records provided by Councillor Gonglo could be one of the stand-up evidence in your case. Are you somehow afraid that probably the record showing that Azetta Dukes will be the one that he will confirm, saying in fact he's the instructor, going against what you got in your possession?
No, but Councilor Gongo just released a statement. He even denied doing the post.
Okay.
Okay.
So he just released a statement and he said it was his administrative assistant who used his Facebook page to congratulate Azetta as the deuce, but he never said she's the deuce.
Okay.
You can read the statement on the show. It's on this page right now.
Okay.
All right, Martin.
So we have a lot to defend ourselves in court. A lot. Right? Because the students will testify. Besides the student testifying, we got documents of original grain ledgers versus ledgers from the data center. And the grades are conflicting. There's nothing here to justify, no way to justify it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Colley, let's allow.
The truth of the matter is, there should be a lesson learned. It is not only happening at the University of Liberia. It is happening at other universities.
Sure. Yeah.
People are becoming dues. People are becoming valedictorians based on favor, based on favoritism, patronage, and not because they earn it. How can we build our society like that?
Okay. All right. Okay. So Martin, let's allow David Talbot to ask this question quickly, and I will take leave of you, Dave.
Okay, so good evening.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so good evening, Mr. Colley. Look, a deuce is someone who is the top performing student in a class. Are you suggesting that?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I said a student who is considered a deuce of a class is a top performing student of that class. That's why that person is considered a deuce. Are you suggesting that the authorities of the University of Liberia have declared the lady a deuce when in fact she unscrupulously, in fact you said she was a person who failed, I don't know whether she failed the entrance or how she unscrupulously entered the university. Say that? So are you suggesting, so what the impression you're creating is that the authorities of the University of Liberia have been bribed, have been coerced into declaring this lady you're talking about as the deuce? Are you suggesting that? Is that an impression you're creating, Mr. Colley? Or it's just a showmanship?
So I'm a student of law, right? I'm doing law right now. So I will not say the authorities of the university were bribed. What I will say, the judgment of the president of the university was inconclusive, incomplete, biased, partial, and vindictive. Because go and read her statement. She wrote me the letter. Go and read that letter. She said she had conducted investigation internally. Later on, the board overturned the decision.
Okay.
So you cannot be that way, right? Because the president of the university is the face of the university. She almost looking like the chief justice. When you go to all the subordinate courts, the Saki court, the magisterial court, all the other courts, the last court of appeal is the Supreme Court. That is the final arbiter of justice. That is why judgments are done on the basis of rational conclusion. You don't just jump to conclusion or to judgment simply because you want to hit at someone or settle scores. So I'm saying the board did the right thing because the board is the highest decision-making body, far beyond the office of the president of the university. So the board had to reverse the decision based on the pieces of the evidence. The weight of our evidence cannot be challenged. If I was in Liberia, I would have defended myself in court without a lawyer. Present my case, present my evidence, and the weight of my evidence cannot be challenged. I'm very serious about this. We are going to win the 4 million lawsuit.
Okay.
We're going to win the 4 million lawsuit, and we'll donate that money to charity. We'll donate that money to charity because the truth has emerged.
Okay, so finally, before we take leave, worrying, because you are very upbeat that you're going to win the case. But when it happens on the contrary, that you don't win the case, and you are made, or you are requested to pay the $4 million, does Martin Colley worth that amount of money?
We don't want to even be hypothetical about this, right, Mr. George? There should be no condition about this. We are going to win. We are 100% confident that we are going to win.
Why if you don't win? That's a question you asked. Why if you don't win?
Probably the stupid question does not know the context and definition of defamation. In the law, truth counters defamation. What we are saying is say the truth. Yes, it is the truth. Multiple sources from within have even confirmed publicly that she's not the deuce. What did Martin Colley say? I also said she's not the deuce. So why did he take me to court? She didn't take the police to court and say publicly she's not the deuce. Right? But Cassidy Bongo has reversed his statement also. She's not the deuce. And I said she's not the deuce. So where's the defamation?
Okay.
Where's the defamation? It's not true. It's the fact. The board overturned the decision after the president declared all the deuce. The board said, you're not the deuce. We'll table in the matter and we'll launch full investigation. So why didn't she sue the board? Why didn't she sue her colleagues? You think you can fail me with court? You think you can silence me with court? Probably you have not read my history. Going after former President Ellen Johnson said, I was beaten and put in jail. I went to court multiple times because I stood up for the right thing. I'm not afraid to stand up for the right thing. So to think you can use the court as a weapon against free speech, I did not insult you. I simply said you are not a deuce, and I provided pieces of evidence that cannot be challenged up to not even by the authorities of the university. So what's the point here? You think you can intimidate me with a court? That's lawfare. And beyond that, because I understand the law, and I'm standing on the side of the truth.
Okay.
So let this message go for Mr. George. Let it go for. I hope I had the time to really discuss this matter in depth. But because of time, let the message go forth to those who think they can use the court to intimidate free speech and critics.
Okay. We want to thank you.
We will continue to stand by our people. We'll continue to stand by the truth, no matter the circumstances. We'll defend the interests of the Republic and the interests of academic integrity. Thank you for the opportunity. May God bless you and your team.
Okay.
God bless our people.
All right. Thank you very much, Martin Colley. We really appreciate we really appreciate you taking our calls. Gentlemen, let me ask, let's just go around the table for a few minutes before we can transition. Dave, what do you think?
Well, what I think is that Martin is determined that he will win the case because he has the facts. He has the facts. And that, no matter what happens, he will emerge victorious in court. We haven't heard it from the lady herself. We haven't heard it from the authorities of the University of Liberia, particularly the president of the University of Liberia, as far as Martin's concerns or criticisms, are concerned. So let's wait and see what happens if the matter gets to the court. Martin is beating his chest that he will win the case, and such utterances or allegation come from Martin. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like has exposed the authority of the University of Liberia to public disrepute, because the University of Liberia is the highest learning institution of the Republic of Liberia. If Martin is claiming or alleging that the University of Liberia has declared somebody a deuce who isn't, who doesn't have or doesn't worth being the deuce of the class, then there's it raises eyebrows. So let's wait and see how, if the matter lands at a court, let's see what happens there.
Okay. All right, Prince Crippler, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Sobo. I hope I'm getting through this time.
Finally,
Yeah, you are getting
Man,
free
you
now.
live in America,
All
you
right.
live in local your internet.
Yes,
is-
thank
I mean,
you.
we're saying the lofa because
It's a pleasure.
Okay, so let's get your take on this. What did you absorb from Martin Corley versus the lawsuit against him, brought against him by someone who the university has claimed that she's the Dukes, and Martin is saying no, she's not. I have all of the preponderance of evidence. What did you gathered from what Martin said?
So this is how I want to deal with this, Saba.
oh, he's going again.
Okay, it seems that he has a problem for his aunt. Let's hear from you.
Yes, I see. Look, I'm not going to be very direct. I'll be a bit hypothetical because I'm looking at the shift in the post from Councillor Gonglo. And, that shift, in my opinion, tend to favor Martin in this case.
Even trying to call Kangaroo.
I think I see
Guy number?
because most of these instructors sometimes when they administer the test, sometimes they can give the test people so that TAs to correct all of those things. It could be an error, it could be intentional, right? So at the end of the day, had Martina had anything serious that warrant, the administration of the UL to look at, they were not going to suspend the issue of who is the Dukes for this class. The board were not going to take that decision to say, let's suspend him until you can hear. So since that took place, I feel that Martin has some weight that the administration saw, the UL authorities saw that they need to look at. Don't forget, Martin is a progressive. That university made him practically. He has strong following on that university campus. A soup veteran, and the guys soup controls the system, the US system. So most of the guys, when they come up with things, I follow your political history from that university and looking at the roles you play. Sometimes I can't just rush and say you're wrong because I know that these guys, they are well entrenched and they don't let one another down. It's very difficult. So I look at it from that point. So Azeta is in high zone. And because she had a Facebook podcast, she said she scored lower grade or whatever in another course and she had to do makeup and other things. There's no time in my life I heard say someone went to go do makeup in the test and the person be the Dukes University. I don't know. Maybe that can happen at the University of Liberia. You repeat the course and you score higher grade.
Okay, so let's play the video. Before then, let's
Saba,
check the video sent to concerning the university.
It is not Azeta that declared herself the Dukes of the class.
That's
It is
the university
authority.
All
that
right.
declared
So
as the Dukes
what I
of the
know, gentlemen, and let's play this video so we can talk about. We can talk about what I'm about to. The question I'm about to ask. It will give you. It will give you a hint. It will give you a clue to what the question and the answer I want from you.
Okay.
Let's play the video quickly.
We Arthur Grimes School of Law. I am both honored and privileged to present to you 6 students from the Louis Arthur Grimes School of Law with magna cum laude and 3 with cum laude. So we have firstly Abraham Zaki Kroma. Second on the list, we have Senator James Biney.
Wow.
Third, we have Miss Azeta Jones Howe. We have Flomo Anthony. Fifth, we have Pelewa Joshua. And lastly, we have Miss Mema Lasana.
So the Azeta came third.
Third, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Chairperson, yeah. Chair.
Now, considering the number that she came, because the first name they called was Abraham.
Abraham, yeah.
It's now what I want to establish here is that is Abraham, especially scoring that sort of hard marks and being the first on the list, couldn't Abraham be referred to as the Dukes?
What we're hearing, that Azeta was declared the Dukes. It came from Mountain, right? 3 of us weren't at the program. I don't know whether the university had announced.
No, but I think she herself.
They
did, yeah.
So if the first person who was called should be considered the Dukes.
The Dukes.
But now we're hearing from Mountain that it's Azeta who is the Dukes. Can Azeta declare herself the Dukes, or is the university authorities should declare?
No, but you
her the
listen
Dukes?
to your colleague, and you said she did a podcast.
She did a podcast.
saying,
Announcing herself
as the Dukes.
as a Dukes.
But
So
then,
now we are hearing about
there's a problem. How can you declare yourself the Dukes?
because
Now you're keeping it,
And then the university authorities.
No, get it straight now.
Yeah, let me get it straight.
If the university awards you the highest mark,
Yeah.
it means that the university has that declare you the Dukes.
Surely.
So you going on your Facebook page and say, I'm the Dukes, means that authority you are announcing they're coming from the university. That's what prompted Martin to have come. Martin came. It is this thing Abraham Saki got Martin tell the one at Dukes, the university, the law school. So at the end of the day, he's recognized as one of the Dukes. In fact, the first that was called from there, Senator James Barney, a very brilliant senator.
And
Brilliant man from Nima County.
she came third.
Azeta came third.
So then, what qualifies her? What qualifies her?
So how come
to be the Dukes?
To be among the 3 people, right?
Now let's replay that video.
So
Let's
how
replay that
come
video.
she declared herself the Dukes?
Let's listen to the video once again. It's short. Let's replay that video.
Yeah, so
Louis Arthur Grimes School of Law.
I am both honored and privileged to present to you 6 students from the Louis Arthur Grimes School of Law with magna cum laude and 3 with cum laude. So we have firstly Abraham Zaki Kroma. Second on the list, we have Senator James Barney. Third, we have
Azeta.
Miss Izetta Jones Howe. We have Flomo Anthony. Fifth, we have Pelewa Joshua. And lastly, we have Miss Mema Lasana.
So amongst the 3 who received the highest, the magna cum laude, she came
the
third.
chairperson.
Yeah.
She came third.
So there was no summa cum laude there.
No, not fine. That's it.
Yes.
So why the university could not announce or could not place her at the front instead? Let's hear from Prince. Welcome back to the program. Yeah, Prince. Welcome back to the program.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, this time my phone fell. That's why I had some challenge.
Please,
we don't have time. Go ahead.
Before my personal comment, I'd like to answer to your question that you just raised about why they didn't call the lady first. The first thing is the lady position is under dispute. The board has put a halt to that as being the number 1 person, and that process is under administrative investigation.
Okay.
Therefore, it didn't make any sense to call her in that order. To do so will be to question the very authority of the board. That's the administrative decision that was taken there. But here's my position on Martin's, claim on the radio. The first thing, if I was if I were in the position of the lady, even though it is her right to file a suit against Martin, I wouldn't have done so. The simple reason why I wouldn't have done so is because anybody who hold public office or benefit public immunity should stay ready for public scrutiny. Martin made wild allegations that warrant, litigation, but the university administration is now conducting an investigation. I will, urge her to wait for that investigation. After that investigation is concluded, then she can move on with that. But here is it. Martin does not have the credibility. He's a smart young man who is being used as a stooge in a process war against that lady.
So who using him?
Who are using
him? No, please let me talk.
Let me get my
let me talk.
Let me get my. I don't know why when I'm speaking.
Go ahead. Nobody going to interrupt you anymore.
Sorry.
Martin does not have the credibility to hold or to question the authority of the University of Liberia and the achievement of the lady. He does not. In the first place, Martin was Secretary General of the University of Liberia Student Union with our election. He did not question that undemocratic tendency on the part of SUP. Martin was in SUP leadership when SUP disrupted a lot of democratic elections that should have gave rise for the students to pick their legitimate leader. He was part of that process. So there's something in law that says one who seeks equity must come with clean hands. Martin's hands are not clean. He's corrupt. He's been tampered with, and he's just fighting a process war for somebody. But in as much as I hold onto that position, I will not advise the lady to go to lawsuit on him, right? Because she should be ready to stand public scrutiny. She should stand ready to be ready to stand public scrutiny. That's what I would say. But I would not take Martin seriously because he's not credible. The other argument is he stands by his position, but he's not ready to come facing whatever he has said in the court of law. He's not ready to come. That tells you he's not honest. The next thing he said was that Gonglo, he's using Gonglo's rating as evidence. But meanwhile, the same Gonglo was the one who posted congratulating the lady. Gonglo edited his post because he's a legal practitioner. The decision was reversed temporarily. So Gonglo, as somebody who believes in the rule of law, will have to reverse the position until the board comes back on their position and say, look, this lady is not in the first place. Then Gonglo will read.
Okay. I don't know what is going off. Now, gentlemen, don't you think our colleague is going off tangent?
Why?
Because
what the colleague now?
Our colleague Prince, don't you think he's going off tangent? Because the issue about Martin's credibility or integrity, what does it have to do with the issue that he raising?
A very serious issue. Yes, it's true. I think this thing is like if you're at a university campus where he's picking up Martin was there in student leadership, they never had election. Look, the process at the University of Liberia, the electionary process that Martin was conducting it, that was perpetuating himself in power. Martin became standard bearer of SUP, this and everything for living. Martin went to wherever he went in Azar, he stayed there, he's been advocating. He's gone wrong in some areas, sometimes he comes, he retried this and that. But the truth is, the issue about, if at all, it was not substantial. It didn't have the kind of weight. The administration was going to play lip service, so they're not going to be in focus, pay attention to it. But the fact that the administration can come back and fight, that was the program done. The honor was given to this girl, and when they erase it, the poor ink, erasing it before even distributing it, show that they saw something from Martin's complaint. I'm not looking at the complainant. I'm looking at the complaints. The substance of.
Now, what does Martin's credibility or integrity have to do with what he's raising?
Look, you can rule that out. You can be dismissive of what Prince said. The first thing is that the mountain is claiming to be a straightforward person. It's somebody who's transparent, though he had some flaws in the past. And he's raising it. But Prince is saying that you were once a member of, you were once the president, you were undemocratically seated as the president of SUP. You didn't set that example of transparency or democratic tendency. Today, you claiming, well, another thing Prince said is that, look, the fact that the matter is being investigated about the lady's credentials or being declared dukes, and maybe the University of Liberia has found out that there's some error or oversight somewhere and it's being investigated. If I were a Zeta, I would have waited until the end of that investigation, what the investigators will come up with before they take such an action against.
Now, so on that basis,
yeah.
Do you think, and let me hear from you, George, let's assume that the university conducted the probe and it was proven that she's truly not the Dukes. You think what she has done now by coming public, even claiming to be, do you think at the end of the day she should be exposing herself to public ridicule?
More than public ridicule. In fact, I understand she's the president of the Female Law Association of Africa or what? I don't know, whether West Africa or what. So to find yourself in this kind of academic controversy has a propensity to even harm you outside there. So by going, if at all, the both turn this thing around, they see the evidence is turning around, will be more embarrassing to her than had she not gone to court prior to Bob Martin's exposure of a GPA. So sometimes, Prince, I agree with you. I agree with what Prince said. She should have just left it until the investigation is concluded. That was a very good point Prince made.
Okay, now Prince, welcome back to the program. I don't know why are you going off on your own. Welcome back.
That'll go.
Thank you, Sobo.
Now, Prince,
it's an unfortunate day for me. Yeah.
Now, the lady already had gone to court, the Azeta lady, and the matter will be adjudicated. Like you heard, Martin already he has been receiving calls from lawyers to go into his defense. Now, let's assume that the case is done, and unfortunately, or the university too, the authorities at the university had investigated and found out that the lady is truly not the Dukes. Do you think about going to court and even trying to announce herself as the Dukes? Should be exposing herself to public ridicule?
I don't think the woman is exposing herself to public ridicule. I don't think so. What I think is she should abandon the court proceedings, put on a thick skin. Once you are a scholar, you should be prepared for debates. You should be prepared for questionable thoughts, right? Especially so, to become a scholar, there must be a lot of competitors. Those competitors will push back. You see some of the competitors you have there is Jim Bunny, he's a senator. Of course, Jim Bunny will push back. Do you think Jim Bunny wants to sit in a salesman role where the lady comes on top of him? Being a political person who knows how to navigate through systems, he will push back. So she should be prepared for those kind of pushback, and the way to demonstrate her scholarly skills and ability is to have a thick skin and push back logically rather than going to court. Because when you go to court, the public sentiment will be that you are trying to silence your critics using the court. But I would think you will use your intellectual or your scholarly ability to defend yourself. And you did that law we're talking about. So use your scholarly ability. But I don't think by her announcing herself, anything wrong with that. The first thing what
Okay.
the university will do, in any case, is the university will issue you, will send you a letter. Martin confirmed that the president of the university sent you a letter indicating that she done all of her background check on the female before awarding the award. So she's not wrong. But now
Okay.
the process.
Okay, she's not wrong. Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Yeah,
We're only looking at student Azeta who is claiming to be the dukes of the class. But we're talking about Azeta being exposed to public ridicule. Why not the university itself? Why would a University of Liberia have a graduation ceremony that has come under question, that is being disputed? So that means that it questions the credibility of the university as well. The fact that you had a graduation ceremony and there's a controversy that's about who is the douche, who isn't the douche. That also exposes the University of Liberia to public ridicule. It questions of the University of Liberia. Yes, Prince, go ahead. Yeah.
Everywhere, what a high school, what a university, any scholarly process whereby a deuce is announced, there will always be controversy. The first thing, those competitors will never feel satisfied. I've been in that position before, right? When you are announced as a deuce, those coming second to you, coming third, fourth, fifth, will always have some apprehension. Besides, even there are students way back the line who are not even close to the reality that will have issues.
So, but then, Prince, the point is, gentlemen, the point is, look, should people's views influence the decision of the University of Liberia as a credible institution?
It shouldn't be.
Yeah, should people? No. Yeah, Prince, you're saying that there will be competitors who will question the decision of the University of declaring you a deuce. Then the question is that, look, I mean, should people question, should the university decision of declaring a student a deuce, that is the top performing student, should the university decision be influenced by people's argument or concerns or disagreement? That's my concern. So if the university decides that Azeta was a deuce or is a deuce, and people disagree because they are competitors, should that influence the decision of the university or reverse the decision of the University of Liberia? That's my concern. So that's it.
That's why we'll have to
yeah.
It will only influence the university's decision if the university conduct an investigation like what is going on at the UL and it's happening to prove otherwise. That is proving that Azeta did not really get that grade, and probably one of the instructors or two of the instructors in this one, the university, before they announce you the dues, they get the grades from the instructors.
Yes.
Very well.
So that's why Martin tried to bring the president. I don't want to go to that side because the president announces information given to her by her deans and chairpersons of the various colleges. That's why she announced. So in her view, she believes that whatever information they give her is the fight. It represents the fight and correct. So she will not go to information from anyone.
And the first thing is that the mountain that we're talking about today, he doesn't have an immaculate character.
No. Let us not go there. You can't listen. No. That shouldn't be our focus.
That was the same concept.
It shouldn't be our focus. Whether Martin does have immaculate character or I call it doesn't have, that's not the issue here.
But
that's the issue. Martin has raised. I come in, Mr. Krepler. Martin has raised an issue that you, David Tablet, you wouldn't have that courage to raise.
That's it, man.
No, I'm coming. No, that's allow me to learn. Allow me to learn.
Yeah.
Martin has raised issues that you would not have the courage to raise. Martin has on several occasions raised a couple of issues that at the end of the day, they turn up to be true. So thank you. Not all. Let us not. That I'm saying that most of them, not all. We agree. So let us not come to question Martin's integrity. No. That's not the issue here. The issue is what Martin has raised.
You could only question
as we speak.
He has similar academic.
I'm coming. As we speak, I'm coming. As we speak, I'm coming, Mr. Crippler. As we speak, because Martin has raised those issues, the university is now investigating it. They are investigating, and you listen to the video that we play. So why wasn't this girl placed at the front? If let's assume she's the Dukes, why did they brought in one Abraham?
In any instance, even the university, when they are announcing those kind of processes, they should open room for challenge. They should open room for challenge. What the university is doing is a normal process of transparency and accountability, demonstrating transparency and accountability. Whether there is a merit in Martin's allegations or not, the fact that he raised it and brought it to the public attention, the university to regain her credibility will have to give listening ears to that, conduct an investigation, and come back to say, look, this process was questioned. We went into it, we did an investigation, and we realized that the question did not have merit. So therefore, our decision stands. They cannot already sweep that. But I agree with Dylan. We cannot rule out the issue about the credibility of the person who raised it. If we're in a court of law, if you have an impugned repetition and you took a case before the judge is going to look at your repetition to gather to know as to whether you saying truth or not. If you have a history of lies.
Okay. All right. So we'll have to
we're going to look at that as well. So you can't say we can't look at repetition. We got to look at that as well.
There is no relationship here. Martin graduated from the University of Bureau with distinction. No argument. Nobody has challenged his academic records. He graduated
aside from the issue.
That's because you are trying to question the credibility. It's integrity. You and your colleagues. So he's telling you now that he graduated from the university.
No, that's not the issue.
Okay,
that's not the issue. There's several concerns raised.
So he said we should transition.
Okay, gentlemen, we have to transition.
That's not the issue.
Let's transition. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat. Rated on Prime FM 105.5. You want to watch the show online, just tap Nighttime Heat on your Facebook page or your YouTube channel. You go to watch the show online. We are also streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. We want to share the live videos so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow what's happening. Gentlemen, yesterday we started a discussion regarding the Senate pushing back on the Ministry of Justice. The Justice Ministry had 2 days ago wrote the court to subpoena the leadership of the Senate to appear before it to submit some financial documents, and of course the Ministry of Justice decision followed a GSC audit. Now, after the ministry's reaction, a request for the subpoena, a day after, the Senate came out and pushed back on the Ministry of Justice that, look, what you are saying or you want us to be subpoenaed for, it is not in our purview. We don't do out turns. We don't play with financial records. We don't do payments here. So where are you coming from? So as a result of that, you need to appear before the Senate to answer to what we call some irregularities, procedural irregularities. You must come to answer to that. Now, we expect that the Minister of Justice will be appearing before the Senate. But in the same vein, we managed to speak with the special assistant because we are still concerned. How was this letter written? Who could have written this letter on behalf of the Minister of Justice? The man who is the Attorney General. The man who has the only man who can differ with the president. Said, Mr. President, this other one, according to law, is wrong. Or, Mr. President, this other one, according to law, is right. So, any communication or decision coming from such a person, it should be held in high esteem.
Yeah, sure.
There shouldn't be any question. But for the Liberian Senate to now be pushing back on the Minister of Justice and ask him to appear to answer to procedural irregularities, it's alarming. It's concerning. So we managed to speak with the special assistant, one Anthony Alord Safa Kambukat. And he said to us that, he would have given us the opportunity, he would have given us time, he would have taken our calls this evening to explain to the public as to what they did, whether it was wrong or whether it was right. But in our discussion, he said he didn't see anything wrong with that. That's something whatever they did, it's legal. Now, we then place in court for him to come out and explain to the public as to why, if they thought that they were right, why did the Ministry of Justice withdraw the petition or the request for subpoena? Why did they withdraw it? Now its phone has been up. Now, gentlemen, what comes to your mind when people supposed to be releasing information on this single clarity, like the SA, now holding back and not wanting to come out publicly? What comes to your mind? Let me hear from you first, George Kennedy.
Yesterday or last night, I told you that this is disturbing. It was definitely against the spirit of separation of power for coordination. And I thought that it might be legal, but it's very wrong. I thought that, first of all, the Ministry of Justice should have sought audience with the leadership of the Senate in the spirit of coordination to actually have that discussion before such move can be done. Another thing is, I said was that because this particular audit period from 2018 to March 2024 is definitely the past administration, and the people you auditing, they're no more in power. I mean, that leadership, that Senate leadership. So what are you going to say? In fact, the audit that was conducted of the legislature was a test audit because the legislature had not been audited for decades, whatever. So that audit report in my mind, I may be wrong. It's not necessary for prosecutorial purpose. Because if we see the
let's assume it's for prosecutorial purpose, right?
Yeah.
But the Senate is saying that, look, all your questions should be directed to the Ministry of Finance.
The Ministry of Finance.
Because you talk about financial outturn and all of that.
Yeah.
It should be, because you failed to do that, we believe you were procedurally wrong.
And they have a point.
The Senate has a point.
The Senate has a point.
So the men now who I want to believe, normally receives or helps to carve communication from the office of the president. If such a man now is reneging after he has promised, it's failing to come and explain the action as to why the Ministry of Justice withdraw its letter. It's concerning. Let me hear from you, Prince Crippler.
So Sober, I told you guys before, and maybe you will have to listen to me, that audit and justice in Liberia under the Unity Party Worker government is a political tool. It has been weaponized. Unfortunately for them, in this time around, selecting the legislature for audit is not only going to indict the CDC alone. So now there are elements in the Unity Party that are pushing back now on that audit. For instance, if you conduct an audit, a selected audit of people from the CDC administration, the thought process was that CDC people will be indicted, but then later they realized that the current Vice President Kuhn was the Ways and Means person in the House of Representatives. There are current officials, currently former people who are in the CDC, who have endorsed this government, supporting this government, to go after those kind of audit reports, pursue them to logical legal conclusion will mean to turn them away from supporting the Unity Party. So somebody have caught themselves, they catch themselves, they say, no, this is the wrong fish that we've grabbed. This is not one of the traps that is only capable of indicting the CDC alone. It could rightly indict the Unity Party. So there is a pushback now. So the Minister of Justice would not know how the letter, where the letter came from, who drafted the letter. So you see today the special assistant will not come quickly like he did the last time to defend the Justice Project, because that was a miscatch. The catch when it comes to justice, when it comes to audit, is often in the context of the Unity Party. Go for anything that will indict CDC, that will indict former President Weah, so that he's not capable of beating Mr. Boyka in 2029. That is going to happen anyway. That's it. And I don't care how they do it, it's going to happen. Mr. Weah will whip his face down, and they will make a lot of mistakes, and they will reach to a point where they will indict themselves. The Vice President is pushing back on that audit now. That's a plain, short case, and short way to put it.
Okay, let's read it. Yes.
So I don't know if the Vice President was the Ways, Means and Finance Committee chair in the Senate. I don't know if Honorable Thomas Fowler was the Ways, Means and Finance Committee chair in the Senate. These people were in the lower house when the Vice President got elected. I don't know if he ever became chair of the Ways, Means and Finance Committee. That's the only thing I wanted to say, because he's mentioning these people without necessarily knowing their positions at the time. The thing concerns the Senate.
So James Barney was in the Senate. There are a lot of people that were in the Senate. Why are you calling
James Barney was not Ways, Means, so don't touch it. So it's about the Senate. It's not about the legislature. That's
but there are people in the Senate currently that were from the CDC that are currently supporting the Unity Party administration.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Dave, let's hear your thoughts on that.
Implement it now. Let's see.
1 minute, Mr. Pepler. Dave, let's hear your thoughts on that.
The latest development questions the government commitment to hold officials of government accountable. Because, maybe somebody can educate me. And I don't know whether the legislature is immune from questioning in terms of how it spends public funds. Because the GSC has done an audit and said the legislature, I think, expenditure of questioning
around $26
million. I wanna it's because the legislature has said, like, let me see something here that I found out. Because he said despite the withdrawal, the Liberian Senate has maintained it is committed to transparency and is working to implement recommendations from the GSC.
But let me tell you 1 minute.
Yeah, hold me there.
The issue now is not whether the Senate does not want to be audited. That's not an issue.
What the issue? The procedural error?
The procedural error is an issue, because if you came out trying to cast expression on that body, and then in the tune of an eye, you went back and withdrew. Why you requesting? It raises serious question.
I agree with you. It raises a serious question.
So while now the Ministry of Justice or a special assistant who knows about how that document was written,
it would have been appropriate. It would have been an easier discussion for us had we spoken with somebody from the Justice Ministry as to why
the person has declined.
Why? The person has declined. Because the person has declined, because we don't know the reason why the withdrawal was done. Was it because
they promised to tell us about the reason to date, and then unfortunately they declined.
In the absence of the reason, they declined. So it makes it difficult. It makes it difficult.
No, it only tells you. It only tells you that there's something that they are hiding. Because if I know exactly that there's nothing to hide, the reason why I made a request and I decided to withdraw the request, it should be something that if it is legal, I should be able to say it. I shouldn't tell the media. So look, I'm coming up to explain why I did withdraw this, and then time to go to explain.
Then you
back over. You switch out your phone.
You switch out your phone.
Just imagine.
So I mean, it questions. I mean, it raises a lot of concerns.
It raises a lot of concerns.
It raises a lot of concerns about. I mean,
it just tell us
how the Justice Ministry is proceeding in terms of the latest development.
So and David, that is above the Justice Minister. There's a bigger unity party political thinking that is
we're not there. We're not ready here to discuss political
unity party and CDC thing.
Forget about that thing. We're not going to listen to this. If you come here, we can't discuss political party and CDC. You want to bring campaign, we can go into the campaign. You will be in the US, you will not vote. People will still beat you. I always telling you this thing. But the truth is,
I don't want to go that route.
When we face the truth, time to say the truth about a particular ministry or agency doing something, let's discuss it.
Yeah, none of
why are you not tough on the position of the Ministry of Justice as it relates to the drawback? Why
who is not tough on
the government? Does it not show lack of interest in?
So what we say, you want us to use
an audit, and then you are pushing back on that very audit.
You want us to speak. You want us to use your dation to speak. We will not use a dation to speak. We have our own dation. We said.
Yeah, but then you can't push my own diction. You cannot manage my diction. You cannot manage my choice of what you can manage.
We're not discussing politics, political party.
Gentlemen, let me come in.
That's why you want to discuss.
Gentlemen, let me come in. What we're talking about is that Mr. Crippler, we are not talking about a CDC and a unity party. There was a procedural error. In fact, the Senate even raised it. They didn't even say error. There's a procedural irregularities. Procedural irregularities are the word the Senate used. So it means Senate is, I come in, Mr. Crippler, I don't know whether you saw that press statement. It means that the Senate is very serious. Because the fact that the Ministry of Justice can ask the court to subpoena top members of the Senate to appear and with financial records. You are telling the people
and then abruptly
with it sends a signal.
I mean,
and see some of the numbers. They said
1 minute, please.
Quoting the GAC.
1 minute, please. 1 minute.
Prince, you're coming.
When you say procedural errors, look in the rules of the Liberian Senate and look at the constitutional requirement on how the executive should approach the legislature and how the legislature should approach the executive. When that is breached, when the Ministry of Justice action wrong contrast to that, then you call that procedural error. But when you can't find anything of that nature, they can't quote how that becomes a procedural error. That's politics.
Okay, let me tell you what. Let me tell you now. Let me tell you the procedural error that you are making reference to. Let me tell you the procedural error.
Yeah.
The Senate is saying because in the Ministry of Justice statement, they then raise the issue of financial outturn.
Let me read this somewhat. The procedural concerns raised by the Senate. It said the senators raised concerns about the procedural irregularities and potential threats to the separation of power, prompting them to Summer Justice Minister Councillor N. Oswald Tue to explain the actions
So you tell me now.
Wait,
Still reading.
Then
Okay.
accountability questions. The abrupt withdrawal has prompted calls for national attention, with observers questioning the government's commitment to holding officials accountable for audit findings.
Okay.
Like the findings from the audit from
Okay.
the general audit.
I'm coming. This is a procedural error. The senators are saying, hey man, Prince,
Yeah.
you gotta understand. I say we're about to transition. The senators are telling you, they are telling the Ministry of Justice that those issues that you made reference to, that you have concerns about, we are not the ones to ask. It is the Ministry of
go to the court.
No, listen now. Please.
Let them go to the court, and then the court will clear them to say, look, Ministry of Justice, your submission is
now, Prince, you appear to be backing, or you appear to be supporting the Ministry of Justice, right? Now, the point in the point we are discussing is that why did the Ministry of Justice withdraw its petition request?
In a twinkle of an eye.
In a twinkle of an eye. Why?
Because of lack of interest.
Okay, so let's transition. Gentlemen, in Riverside County, again, you're listening to the Nighttime Heat. Can you share the show, share the live video, so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow what's happening tonight on the program. Well, in Riverside County, gentlemen, we are reading that the people there are living in terror. They are living in terror as a vigilante mob group. In fact, is on the rampage. Let's try to see whether we can read this story quickly and talk about this. More than 100 men allegedly attacked Bethel Town in Riverside County, burning homes and beating residents after a hunter's disappearance sparked witchcraft accusations. At least 24 houses and 27 kitchens were destroyed. Over 150 women and children remain displaced and are sleeping outdoors. Police have arrested 6 suspects as investigations continue amid growing concerns over rising mob justice in rural Liberia. Gentlemen, that's the situation now in Riverside County. Though the police had arrested people, but the situation appears to be very, very concerning. Now, we tried contacting the senator of the county, Warrington Jeeves Smith, and he confirmed the situation in the county. He said yes, he's aware, and they read about that. In fact, they received calls, and he was in fact making his way on that side to see what happened, and he would have spoken to us. But it seems maybe where he is, because his phone is off now, where he is, he can. But it's troubling. It's troubling, and it has its own human rights implication as well, especially where you find group of individuals being attacked, houses being burned, people being displaced, women, children. It's reminiscent of the bitter past that we experienced. What is your thought there?
Well, this is another troubling story from a very poor country that the residents are struggling to find their daily meals. I mean, to see people being displaced, people being chased by gangs. This is very bad. I think whatever the police is doing, I think they should reinforce in that place to curb that particular situation immediately, because it has the propensity to spill over to other counties. This country, anything you see or such, don't take it for granted, and the state security should make sure that to deal with it very, very fast, because to see people chasing people, burning people homes and stuff, it's very ugly. So
okay, so it has its own, like we said, human rights implication. Let's try to speak with an executive director at the Liberia Independent Human Rights Commission, Uriah Paul. He's been in fact commenting on the issues in Rivers. It also drew their attention. Let's try to speak with them as to what they make of that and how do they think that can be arrested with men burning homes and displacing people, and it's troubling, it's concerning.
Sure.
Mr. Paul, welcome to the Nighttime Heat.
Thank you very much, Soldier. Thank you.
Okay, so we are talking about the situation in Rivers, where vigilante mob have been on the rampage, displacing people, burning homes, and people have been displaced and missing as well. Looking at it from the human rights perspective, why do you think this could be happening?
I think mob violence are the result where people want an immediate extrajudicial punishment, where there's distrust in law enforcement, or where access to justice is not available. I mean, it's a serious problem. It also undermines the legitimacy of the state, because the state has the protection function. So where the citizens are vulnerable, it makes in a nutshell, it makes undermine the legitimacy of the state to provide protection. So it's very serious. I think if you read our report, our 2024 report, we alarm the situation of more violence, and we think much needs to be done to empower our security institutions in the rural area to ensure that we have a sense of stability, because some of these areas you hardly find law enforcement institutions. Sometimes there are districts where you find police officers. They will tell you that there's no logistics. So it's a serious problem. In the absence of these situations, you have what happened in Rivers occurring. So Rivers is not just the only county where you have these things happening. Lofa, Grand Chile, even most of other counties, these are prevalent.
Now, so like you said, it could be as a result of not many police officers assigned in the counties or in the districts. Now, do you flag this sort of situation in your report?
Yeah, we do. These are things that we always highlight in our report, and not just in our report, but we be engaging the Ministry of Justice and the relevant authority. You will note somewhat that even last week we organized a training for almost all the law enforcement institutions, the senior level officers, and the chairperson of the commission, Councilor Brown, exercised the need to have the presence of law enforcement officers or institutions in the various counties as a result of some of these things. For example, what took place in Rivers, there are counties that if you even visit, you will hardly find a magistrate court. Even if you have a magistrate court, you have only the magistrate. The other officers are not there. There are places where you have, in the whole district, you have 2 police officers, 3 police officers.
Wow.
And the logistics is also this logistics. The availability of logistics is also a constraint. Even where residents make report to the police, for police to go on the scene, to deal with the situation is difficult. I know a situation where one woman even complained that she to us that they took a complaint to the police. For the police to intervene, they will even require, that the survivor make them provide fuel for the motorbike if they have. And so these are the constraints that we have. So in the absence of law enforcement officers in this county, we have sort of violence, which lead to the violation of right to life, violation of right to property, displacement of children, women, and this is the most vulnerable people are children and women. Women and children are most vulnerable. You see what happened in Bethel Town in Rivers, the women are displaced, and so forth. So it's a serious problem. Most violence really affect marginalized people. So we need to take it seriously.
Okay, so before you go, maybe Makonjo also want to ask you, but let me ask you this question. From the human rights perspective, what do you think should be done? Because yes, the police had made some arrests in Bethel Town, in Riverside, but people's homes were burned. People are displaced. What do you think needs to be done?
And this is where the government needs to intervene, because in this kind of situation, the government will have to intervene, and because this is a gross immoral violation. This is a violation where properties and displacement are taking place, and so I understand the National Disaster Commission is making some intervention, but I think it's important for the government to intervene in the immediate sense to provide the necessary humanitarian support for the victims. So, and then in the long run to ensure that we have we strengthen the police presence in a particular area, because from the reports from our monitors, they took a very long time for the police to intervene, and even the local authorities. So we need to strengthen that aspect. But for the time being, I think the citizens, those who are victims, 124 houses were destroyed, even food storage. But there's a full crisis now. The residents of that town really need, immediate humanitarian support.
Gentlemen. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Urias Paul. We really appreciate your time spent with us tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so gentlemen, yes, Tabo.
Yeah, the first thing is that we have to draw a dichotomy here between vigilante, a group calling itself vigilante, and hooligans. The first thing is if a vigilante is a group of persons expected to augment the efforts of the state security, where there is an inadequacy of the presence of state security, the vigilante, covers up, augments the effort of the state security. And besides that, and such a group should be licensed, or their existence should meet the acquiescence of the Liberian National Police or the state security. But you have a group of persons just get up one day and form themselves the group, they call themselves vigilante, because a vigilante group that is meant to augment the efforts or replace state security because of the inadequate presence of the state security. There shouldn't be a group going around and terrorizing the citizens and you call them vigilante. No. So let's draw a thin line between which group is a vigilante and which group is a group of hooligans passing around and terrorizing people. So if you say they calling themselves vigilante and they're going around and terrorizing people, do you call them vigilante or
they are hooligans?
They are hooligans. They're not a group of vigilantes. I don't even know whether the Liberian National Police is aware of their existence in Riverside County. So that should send a signal, a message to the Liberian National Police Security agencies that, look, if the Liberian National, like somebody said, look, in some of the counties, you have 1 or 2 police officers in one village or in a town, in a whole town. You have 2 police officers. Sometimes the 2 police officers even don't have handcuffs, not to mention vehicles or motorbikes. Or even arms, So how do they operate? How do they protect lives lives and properties in those areas.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, so if you call the guys vigilante group, that means that their existence must be in the records. They must have been licensed.
Okay, let's hold you there.
You know,
and
maybe
hear from,
licensed
let's
by
hold you
the-
there and hear from Prince Crippler. Mr. Crippler, let's hear from your thoughts on that.
Yeah, first, Sobo, to be quite honest, is unfortunate, you know, in this ancient time for this kind of group to exist in Liberia, raining terror on our people. As an individual, I personally condemn that. I support idea about forming vigilante, but I do believe that the police and the requisite authorities should be able to put the appropriate systems in place to ensure that, I mean, those who are forming those kind of community-driven security protection system for themselves are doing so in the interest of protecting the people and not to harm the people. You know, but again, these things were happening because we have created a vacuum. We have created a vacuum. The police authorities or the police authority is not evenly distributing, I mean, police officers across the country for the protection of the people. What they're doing, in most cases, and this is not unique to only now, police officers are only interested in assignment in urban areas where they gotta say that they can comb the people, right? They've been paid taxpayers' money. Police authorities should be concerned about how police officers can be deployed in counties like River says that we're talking about. When you have the vacuum suburb, these are the situations that will occur. When one opposition person in our country come out to do something, the pool of police officers you can see there. But I bet you to today's date, even 1 month from now, the police commander or the police inspector general will not even, take a team to that place to understand what is happening there. This is sad. This is sad.
Okay, but according to the report, and Prince, let me correct something quickly. According to the report, the police was able to arrest some of those who were involved. So I don't think the police is showing blind eyes on that.
But their presence fell in the place. That's why it even happened.
I'd like to add something. Prince says something. Most of the police officers prefer being assigned in urban areas. And this is not unique to the police. Even nurses have declined. Many nurses have declined to be assigned to the rural area. And why? Because when the nurses or police officers that are assigned in the interior or in the rural areas, they get less support. They don't even have logistics. They don't even have vehicles to move around. They don't even have motorbikes to move around. And even the salaries are sometimes delayed. So in most cases, police officers, nurses, they've always declined or even bribe some authorities to remain in the rural areas because they have further concern.
The urban area.
They be assigned in the urban areas because when they are assigned in the interior or in the rural
they are
area,
forgotten about.
They are forgotten about.
Okay, let's hear from you.
They have less
George,
interest in being assigned.
We'll try to open it briefly. Let's hear from you.
So I agree with everyone. And a few months ago, the police director, there's a police RG,
Inspector General.
Inspector General spoke, and I took this message seriously. He said, in order for Liberia, for him to get a full manpower capacity to cover the entire country, he would need between $10 to $12 million. Okay. And to train manpower, get all the equipment, get them deployed fully. That message, our lawmakers should be considering that. But what is going on in the rural area is very troubling, where police officers, sometimes you see 3, 4, 5 towns, you see 1 or 2 police officers
with faded uniforms.
Not taken care of. So part of the thing that we would suggest that they do when you're sending people in the rural areas, they should go with incentives. some incentives that will encourage them to be there. The man's salary had to be on time. You had to add some incentives on the man's salary to encourage him to be down there. You cannot deploy the man in the forest. He's there. He won't depend on his one salary. And I don't know, he can't even come in time. Paying the man so that mobile money, it takes too long. No banking system around there.
But Josh.
Yes, sir.
The normal procedure in this modern time is you recruit police officers per their location. Right? Then you don't have that problem. All we have to do is to be innovative in our approach to recruitment. Recruit police officers that you tell the police officer, people from Grand Crew that want to join the police, you tell them you got recruitment and training. You decentralize the recruitment and training to the various regions. People who are recruited in a specific region, you assign in your region.
I think that's a very brilliant idea.
It's not about how many $1 million you get. We can even get them 500 million. If the current approach to policing or administration of public offices is maintained, trust me, we're not going to achieve the decentralization that we want. We have to give some autonomy, some power and authority to the people in the region.
So you want to support my idea that we should the whole country, we should change the constitution, we approach the regional approach.
We don't even have to change the constitution. All we need to do is to take a decentralized approach to leadership, to everything we do.
Yeah.
Everything we do, let's take a decentralized approach. We don't have to change any law.
Monrovia is not Liberia.
Okay, gentlemen, let's try to open the lines briefly.
Too much traffic police.
Let's try to open the lines to hear from some of our people who want to call 0776 540-987. Again, 0776 540-987. That's the numbers. That's the number to call, and you are live on the Nighttime Heat tonight. I've been looking at a couple of stories. First, we did a reflection, flashback, looking at the lives of the fallen former Montreal County Representative Solomon George. We spoke about that, and then the lawsuit. UL Law School. Dukes, the UL Law School Dukes, who understand has filed a $4 million defamation lawsuit against Martin Colley. We've also been looking at the Ministry of Justice failure to explain as to reasons why it did withdraw the subpoena request from the courts. We spoke about that also, and of course, in Riverside County, people are living in terror as a vigilante group appears to be on the rampage. So you can put your calls and maybe weigh in on whatever you want to talk about. 0776 540-987. Again, 0776 540-987. That's the number to call. And you are live tonight on the Nighttime Heat. Again, 0776 540-987. Let's hear from you what you think about the discussions we've been having tonight. We've been looking at the issue of Riverside County, where people there are living in terror as vigilante group continues to be on the rampage. Some individuals were arrested by police. We'll also talk about the lawsuit involving Martin Colley, the lady who claimed that she's the Duke of the school, has filed a lawsuit against Martin Colley. $4 million lawsuit. Let's take the first call in the line quickly. The caller is gone. We're hoping that you can call back at 0776 540-987. Again, 0776 540-987. That's the number to call. And you are live at 0776 540-987. Also, we did a eulogy of former Montreal County Representative Solomon George, who met a demise today. We spoke about him, looking at his life his character. Also, we spoke about that. And of course, the lawsuit on Martin Colley. Where do you stand? Do you think the lawsuit should stand or not? We also spoke about the Ministry of Justice, and that coming up to explain why it had to withdraw its subpoena request for the Senate leadership. They said, well, it was trying to request the court to subpoena the leadership of the Liberal Senate, but later on it withdrew that subpoena request. And then in Riverside County, people there are living in terror, they are living in fear as vigilante group continues to be on the rampage there. We understand over 100 individuals were affected, women and children. In fact, displaced and our homes also burned down by vigilante groups. Let's hear from you quickly. 0776 540 987. That's the number to call. Again, 0776 540 987. You call this number, you are live on the Nighttime Heat. Let's take this call quickly. I'm sure from the US. Welcome to the program. Hello? Foreign call is coming and a local call is coming.
Yes, sir, Moses.
Okay, yes, Moses, let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you here?
We are hearing you. Go right ahead. Another call is coming in.
Are you there?
We are hearing you. Moses, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here. So, are you hearing me?
Yeah,
we can. Let's take this local call quickly. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Okay, excuse me. I'm Edward Banga. I'm calling from Lagbasi.
Okay.
So I want to extend my unflinching condolences to the family of the George family, most especially Solomon C. George Jr., commonly known as Suri, who is my friend for the loss of his father. May the God console them and inspire through these difficult times, and God be with his family.
Okay. Many thanks. Thank you for making your call or putting your call on this 0776 540 987. That's the number to call. 10 minutes will be shutting down. 0776 540 987. That's the number to call, and you are live tonight on the Nighttime Heat. We've been talking about a couple of issues. The lawsuit, a law school student who claimed that she's the Dukes of the law school. She has filed a $4 million lawsuit against Martin Colley. That lawsuit is. Let's hear from you. Moses.
Yeah, look, I told you earlier, my schedule is very crazy, but let me just take a few minutes of your time. Let me say hi to all of our colleagues in studio. I just want to talk briefly about what is happening in Riverside.
Okay.
I heard you guys talking about the situation with the vigilantes. First,
local call coming in. Hello? It's troubling. Local call is coming in. Moses will have to put you off the line and take this local call quickly. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah, I want to talk about the police going to the rural area.
Okay.
I want to add my voice to what your police just said, that be able to teach Central Lad and they should be able to at least bring it down small from how to grade, like this when the person can read, then they should be able to take the person, at least when you can read between the lines. That's what I want to add there, then they can go to the rural area, will be fine for the police to allow.
Okay, many thanks. 0776 540 987. That's the number to call. Let's take this Moses quickly on the line. Moses, let's hear from you. Hello, Moses. Moses of the line 0776 0776 540 987. We've been talking about a couple of local calls are still coming in, so I think Moses is very happy. Have difficulty to come in. Yeah, let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah, this is a good issue. We're calling from Somalia Drive.
Let's hear from you, sir.
Yeah, my concern has to do with the police. Many of the police prefer to be assigned in the city, and in the rural area, got less number of police. So the police, the Inspector General need to reshuffle the police. Whether you are from Riverside or from Grand Crew or from Grand Bassett, whatsoever, you need a much join the police to set the country to protect life and property. Anybody assign you, you'll be compelled to go there. And those are assigned in the interior, will have attractive salary. The salary will be different from those that are in the city. In order to encourage them to be in the rural area.
Okay.
The rural area. And it's very bad for our people. Can you imagine one person assigned in the whole district in Riverside, where 24 times was burnt down? When I had to stop that, the men went in the bush to search for somebody. And while they were there, the 14 at the time, they burned the whole town. And all of the women and children were just packed in the town hall. It's very, it's bad for our people.
Okay.
The police and the Inspector General need to do something about that.
Okay. Okay, I'm sure he's listening. 0776 540 987. That's the number to call. 6 more minutes will be shutting down. 0776 540 987. If you have any concern about the issues that we've been discussing tonight, we spoke about the homegoing of the death rather of a former Montserrat County Representative Solomon George, and the issues in Riverside County. Let's take Moses quickly. Yes, Moses, welcome.
Yeah, sorry we had a break. I just wanted to say that, look, under the laws of Liberia, vigilantes are not recognized, are not constituted law enforcement group. These are a group of people who arrogate laws unto themselves to prevent crimes, and that is illegal. It's extremely illegal, because in the punishment of people who they claim are committing crimes, when something goes wrong, then who do you hold accountable? That's where the role of the police comes in. And we did those things when we had civil war. In today's Liberia, we should not be having a group of people masquerading as law enforcement officers when they do not have that legal authority. I think the police need to step up to the plate. And this is one of the greatest challenges we have in our country. The police, the army, and other security, institutions of government, all of these critical institutions of government remain funded, ill-equipped. You go up rural Liberia, you find 2-3 police officers, they don't even have bicycles. So when a crime occurs, then how do you manage that problem? And I think this is where government really need to do a lot of investment. Because if you don't have national security, that creates a lot of problem. And this is just what I wanted to say, gentlemen.
Okay, man.
What a great job you are doing, yes.
Many thanks, Moses. We really appreciate. Gentlemen, let's go around the table. We've got 4 minutes to go. Let's go around the table to get party comment so that we can take off. Dave, let's begin with you.
Yeah, we have this. I'd like to end on the issue of the vigilante group we're talking about. We get a Kapao group operating in Liberia. I think this, almost like on the same canopy of vigilante. And the group operating in Monrovia or in the urban area, they've got the support of the Liberia National Police, because the police works along with them. The Liberia National Police works along with this vigilante group in Monrovia, helping pregnant women in other emergency situations, and alerting the police of these kind of emergency situations in Monrovia, and then they can find solutions. So similarly, that should be done in the interior. The police should be aware, or the police should license or give the go-ahead to groups calling themselves vigilantes instead of a group of hooligans passing around, parading the rural area and terrorizing innocent people.
Okay. George, your party comment for the night.
Well, the issue, the breaking news from River says is serious. I think the government should take it very seriously and move in quickly to handle. You got both the national security side, you have the humanitarian side. You have to restore the lives of those people after their houses, their homes were burned. You have to help them, resettle, because this is serious. To see poor people being treated that way, I think they need help. So that's where for me.
Okay.
Besides that, the show was good. I think I want to tell Prince thank you, even though you found it very difficult to come on first, but thank God that you finally came on here.
Okay, Prince, let's hear from you, Prince. Your parting comment.
So I would like to close on the Solomon George demise. I want to say my condolence to the family, to in our party, the CDC. Mr. George, prior to his demise, was a staunch citizen. He benefited from the party. I don't agree with his outlandish claims, made against the former president, Senate bearer of our party. But I still do believe that he's a member of the CDC. I do hope that the leadership of the CDC will plan the necessary program to pay him the honor that he deserves. He was only being, infiltrated by the Unity Party. They were promising him some handsome packages to spill lies about the former president and Senate bearer of our party. But we wish him we sympathize with the family. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I want to thank all of you, viewers and listeners, for your role you play tonight. Join us, that is on Monday, for another fascinating edition of the program, The Nighttime Heat. Until then, Sabo George is my name. Have a pleasant night.